What once looked like a fairy tale may now be facing its very first nightmare. That is the phrase that perfectly sums up Wrexham's current moment, the Welsh club that emerged from obscurity to become a global phenomenon after two Hollywood stars, Ryan Reynolds and McElhenney, decided to buy it. And let's be honest, up until now, their journey has been nothing short of cinematic. Shall we recap? When Rob and Ryan took over in 2020, Wrexham was stuck in the fifth tier of English football. The club carried more than a decade of frustration, supported by a passionate and loyal fan base, but one that had already grown used to the idea of living far from the big stages. That's when the two actors arrived with far more than just money. They brought business vision, a showbiz mentality and, above all, the ability to turn a small-town club into a global brand. On the pitch, results came quickly. They left the National League, secured promotion to League Two, then to League One and, in succession, reached the Championship, the most competitive second division in the world, which many argue is even tougher than the Premier League itself. Off the pitch, the leap was even greater. The Welcome to Wrexham documentary became an international success, shirt sales skyrocketed, and even the league streaming platform recorded historic audience figures whenever the club took to the field. Today, the Wrexham brand is valued at £350 million, an unimaginable figure for a team that, not long ago, was simply fighting for survival. And this season, revenue forecasts stand at a record £50 million. To put that into perspective, 5 years ago the club could not even dream of reaching such numbers. But here comes the part few people talk about. All this success, this wave of growth, has one fragile point: it was built entirely on winning. The narrative that captured the world's imagination was that of an underdog club, defying the odds and climbing step by step as if nothing could stop it. But football, as we all know, is never a story that follows the script. The start of the 2025-26 Championship season showed exactly that. Wrexham lost to Southampton and West Brom, two clubs with squads strong enough to be in the Premier League. Then, they only managed a draw against Sheffield Wednesday, a club currently drowning in financial trouble. The outcome? Far from inspiring. That was when the experts began waving the red flag. The renowned data company Opta projected that, if the campaign continues along this path, Wrexham could finish in 23rd place. And that means only one thing: relegation. Now, pay close attention. If this relegation happens, the issue won't just be about dropping back into League One. The greater warning came from a sports finance expert who spoke to the local press. According to him, going down a division would mean an immediate loss of around £8 million in television revenue. But that isn't even the biggest concern. The real risk lies elsewhere, in the international fan base. A huge portion of Wrexham's income now comes from supporters outside Wales. People who have never set foot in Wrexham, but who bought shirts, signed up for streaming services, and celebrated each episode of the documentary. Yet, unlike the die-hard fan who fills the stands, this global audience often does not have eternal loyalty. They are there for the story, for the fairy tale. And if the magic of constant victories fades, they may simply move on to follow another team. The expert summed it up like this: Rob and Ryan's narrative has always been one of constant success. But if that story stops being enchanting, will all these new fans still remain? It's a sobering thought, but a fair one. Of course, nobody doubts the marketing genius of the owners. If anyone can turn even a relegation into something positive, it's them. But the lingering question is, how sustainable is this project if results no longer keep pace with the story? What we do know is that the club will not collapse. The owners are investing heavily in infrastructure, modernizing the Racecourse Ground Stadium and building a foundation for the future. However, as the expert said, setbacks are inevitable. And perhaps, just perhaps, this first stumble, if it really comes, could be the ultimate test to discover whether Wrexham is merely a beautiful story or ready to establish itself as a true force. So I ask you, can Wrexham keep the magic alive even without a constant stream of victories? Will the international fans remain loyal, or will they go looking for the next trendy club to follow? One thing is certain: Rob and Ryan have already changed Wrexham's history forever. The question nobody can answer is, how far can this fairy tale really go? And if you want to keep following every chapter of this extraordinary journey, don't wait around. Subscribe to the channel now, turn on notifications, and stay up to date with every twist in this project that has already entered football history.